Welcome to Pod and Long. I am your host, Ryan. It's great to have you with us. I'm here once again with one of my co-hosts. It's the Word of Drew.
Are the four of us wearing pants? Are we not? It's a mystery that the universe will never know. But we have possums.
Got the possum shirt on. Also here with one of my co-hosts, it's Mr. Mike.
I'm just here with my big rack and my peanut butter skin.
Jesus.
We're all away for a week. The show descends into madness.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse. We're also here with
Mr. Do you guys know where that's from?
No.
That's Whitlock talking about
Jason Whitlock talking about Joy Taylor.
Joy, yeah. That's getting real ugly real fast.
Also here with Mr. Megastar Mark.
That's just gross. If you just want to assault women, I don't really like it. You know what's more fun? It's Rock'em Sock'em Robots. That's way more fun.
Kerplunk. Oh shit. What's the likelihood? I keep my job.
I'll even play Mall Madness.
If I
thought my sister play it, it's fine.
If I hide in the showers, do you think they'll find me? Hide and seek, also a game.
Can't get fired if you can't find me.
That was the Matt Eberflus theory for a long time.
They got him though.
The doubles, the body doubles. They just cleared all the doubles. Mm-hmm. Oh boy, we're here to recap Week 18. We've got a couple things. We got the A block, which is going to be the coaches fired and the coaching carousel. We got the B block, which is going to be the games, no categories, but do have a fun little exercise. We're going to rank those playoff teams, non-playoff teams, into categories for next season, and whether they're hopeful or whether they're Jeff Fisher or whether they're trash. And then after that, we're going to make our playoff picks. So I hope you're ready with your picks. You have to pick the entire playoffs. The game is whoever comes in last is forced to watch the Aaron Rodgers Enigma documentary, which I talked to Drew on Sunday, and he did not realize how long this puppy is.
No.
It ain't 1 hour. Let's put it that way. It's multiple episodes.
How can you expect me to pick the WNBA playoffs when they last for 11 months?
Yeah, I assume they're going on right now.
They're still going.
Come on, Sparks. Is that a team?
Yeah, they're still there.
Yep, you're still good.
Liberty, that's another one.
Yep, yes.
Whoa. That's
Aces.
Right.
Yep, Aces. Good.
That's a good one.
Yep. Fever.
Sun.
Fever and Sun. Yep.
Okay.
Fever and Sun. Are we playing a game right now? Is this a game?
Yeah.
Let me throw Wings out there, which is the one that most people miss.
Lynx.
Oh,
Lynx.
Wings. Is that the one owned by Paul McCartney?
Yes. Dream. That's the team down in Atlanta.
Browns.
No, they haven't converted yet.
Okay.
They have not.
Jefferson Starship?
Oh, boy. All right.
Starship?
We also have our segments. We did not get a Stripe Spiral, so we'll hear from Drew on the college football world as we get ready for round 2. Is it round 2? Round 3?
Coming into the semis.
Round 3?
Semis are this weekend.
Round 3. We'll have a foo bar. We'll have a little tiny broadcasting moments. There's not much to say. And all of our usual other shenanigans. So let's start with the A block. And coaches fired. So we're going to go through every one of these pieces of transaction here. But the first one is an what? The Giants fire no one. Not the coach, not the GM. They keep everybody.
I'll say only that I work with a lot of Giants fans. Contrary to popular opinion, I do occasionally work. I work with a lot of Giants fans, and they are okay with this.
Wow.
Like or at the very least, they felt like this was the anticipated move. That the Giants are not typically a one and done, smash the panic button franchise. So as far as most Giants fans I've talked to, they seem to think that this was coming, that this was the likely outcome.
It's my fault. I burned the dinner.
If they weren't going to fire both of them, then I would hate to see them fire one and not the other. I think that's stupid. So the fact, if you're just going to keep them both, whatever, I guess that's better than firing one and not firing the other. So I think I read somewhere that like teams that like have finished with a record of like 4 wins or lower the following year, if they keep the head coach, never improve off that. If they move multiple years, they had like a couple examples of it. So I don't think the Giants are going to get any better, but
no.
And here's the argument I would make against the keeping both. Daboll inherited some of this shit sandwich.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
A bunch of other things. This GM absolutely screwed the pooch. Let Saquon walk. Like, this guy is, again, the biggest offseason joke is he let this guy walk to keep Daniel Jones, so they ended up waiving anyway.
Yeah,
like
right. No one's talking about the Daniel Jones part.
Correct. I think it would have been slightly unfair to fire Daboll. I think it's entirely reasonable to fire the GM. Because those are two massively boneheaded decisions.
I feel like
they extend Daniel Jones, who they then basically put on waivers. And we lose Saquon Barkley, who goes to almost break Eric Dickerson's rushing record.
I feel like no team is going to want to do this HBO thing in the offseason because of this catastrophe.
No.
Also, sidebar, because Mike brought it up. I'm as a fan, I'm disappointed that Saquon is not trying for the record, or did not try for the record. As a football historian, I'm kind of pleased, only because this saved us the horrible acrimony of the 17 games versus 16 games bullshit.
Yep.
It's not Saquon's fault they play 17 games.
Yeah, right?
It's very true. It's very true. And it would have been horrible if he got injured in that Giant game. It would have been horrible.
Yeah,
awful.
Especially because Jalen Hurts, oh, by the way, is still injured.
Yeah.
He is still injured. Okay, so the Giants keep everyone, which was shocking. The Jaguars, not shocking, fired Doug Peterson.
Yep.
This was a long time coming, probably since about week 6.
I don't know
he got on the plane back from London. It was a shocking moment.
I don't think there's a way to do this, but you know how sometimes, like, you get a raise and your boss tells you, oh, it's retroactive back to X date? Like, could the Jaguars have said we fired Doug Peterson retroactive back to October 10th? Is that a thing you can do?
Yeah, maybe.
I'll play devil's advocate for Dougie P for a second. The Jags had, I believe, 9 losses of less than 1 score.
Yeah.
That's a lot of bad luck. And again, it can be seen as some bad coaching situations. But I think ultimately, like, the Jags it didn't bounce their way this year. And I don't know it was probably time for Doug to go, but at the same time, if you'd stayed, you could have made the argument of, look, 1 or 2 things go the other way, we have 6, potentially 7 more wins. Like, they were not a team that was getting blown out regularly. Yeah. They had some blowouts during the year, but they were moderately feisty in most games.
This team, though, like, needs a new identity more so than I think at a lot of the other
teams. How about
that even
an identity? They don't have.
I was just going to say this team hasn't had an identity since Jimmy Smith.
Yeah, this is a team that with Trevor Lawrence, I mean, you see a lot of like these older veteran coaches being around, and certain teams I think need that. This is a team that really could use a kind of a young, innovative, maybe he never had a chance before coach, and I think that might work. So, we'll see. We'll see with them.
I thought you were going to say Tom Coughlin.
Go fuck yourself.
Do they keep Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah, you keep.
Yeah,
I think so. They just committed to all that money.
They fired Doug Peterson because they think they're good.
Doug Peterson, by the way, I don't know if he's going to end up as an offensive coordinator, but he should end up as like a QB coach somewhere. He's still good at that,
Yeah, he's got tread on the tires for that.
Right.
The man won a Super Bowl.
Right. I know. It's weird to say.
Living off that Super Bowl
with Nick Foles.
Yeah. He is a quarterback whisperer.
He loves living
University-
off that Super Bowl. The other
University
thing
of
of
Maryland on line 1.
oh, the other
I don't even know if they have a coach vacancy.
yeah, they might not. They might
Look.
have a coach.
Here's the thing: Doug Peterson has won a Super Bowl more recently than Mike McCarthy, who has a job and is simultaneously being interviewed for another one.
Not. He was blocked. He was
Oh,
blocked.
Jerry.
Real quick, on Doug, last thing on Doug. He had to start Mac Jones for how many games?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
He
They
won
weren't
a
going
game with
anywhere.
Mac Jones.
he won a game with that. That should get you at least something. Let's do Mike McCarthy right now. Mike McCarthy is currently unemployed. He's not the Cowboys coach because his contract's up.
Yeah.
But the Cowboys have exclusive rights to negotiate with him or something.
This is very office
So,
space where you just let the
yeah.
contract expire, then move him to the
Yeah,
basement.
they moved him to the basement and took away his paycheck.
We fixed the glitch.
We fixed the glitch.
They're gonna tell him, "No, we fixed
No.
the glitch."
No,
We don't like
things like
confrontation.
this.
Yeah.
Things like this work themselves out.
Yeah. Right.
The Bills.
And set the building on fire.
So Mike McCarthy is available. So the Bears, why I don't know. The Bears want to interview Mike McCarthy,
You
but
fools.
the Cowboys, the
Doing the
Cowboys
Lord's work.
didn't allow it. They blocked the interview.
Yeah.
They have the ability to block the interview
Stop.
for a certain amount of time.
for another
Chicago-
week.
Just stop doing what you're doing and hire Kingsbury. You know that's what you want. So
No, they need to hire
Commanders
Pete
lose.
Carroll. Do
Pete
it.
Carroll. Yeah, we saw that right
Do
before we
it.
went on the air.
Yes.
I want all of them to come back. I want all of the characters. I want Rex to come back.
Yeah.
Let's get Pete back in. Let's get Kingsbury somewhere.
Let's
get 'em all back in charge.
We got a lot of characters on the side on the
Can you
horizon.
imagine? Can you imagine the big oiled up dick energy?
I was just
that-
going to say.
that Rob Ryan's gonna have if they bring him back after firing him.
Oh God.
Oiled up Rob Ryan returning.
He will return
our
to
world?
the Jets sideline.
Absolutely.
Like
absolutely.
if Rex goes, Rob
Yeah.
will
Rex,
be far behind.
Rex will be walking, and there was so much big dick energy; it would be
Oh my
hilarious.
God.
That is
Correct.
the funniest. I
I-
want all of this.
It
to
is the
happen.
funniest outcome. Rex Ryan coaching
Yeah.
the Jets again is the funniest outcome.
so funny.
Why? I thought the Raiders were the only team that like resurrected coaches who hadn't coached in 15 years. Like they brought back Art Shell, and then they decided, hey, let's give John Gruden another shot. Like, why are other teams doing this now? Is somebody going to hire Norv Turner? Is this going to be a thing?
I don't think North's coming back.
Barry Switzer going to coach somewhere?
Barry. I think Gruden might have a
Is
shot
Barry
to get a
Switzer
job.
still with us?
Barry's still alive.
Barry Switzer, yeah.
Barry's
Mhm.
alive.
Okay.
Barry's alive.
Just angrily dialing Marcus Dupree.
He's just still trying to get credit for that Super Bowl that he had nothing to do with. I swear it was me.
Yeah.
All right. Mike McCarthy. We'll see what happens with him. Somebody wants him. My God.
I know. He was probably more shocked than anybody.
Okay.
The fuck?
The fuck? The Patriots fired Gerard Mayo.
Yep.
They fired him like instantly after that game ended.
Yes.
That's
And-
look.
was
That statement
not
was
happy.
already typed up in notes, and it was already an email. All Robert Kraft had to do was
Yeah.
take his pudgy, massage-touching fingers and hit send.
He didn't even have to do that. He scheduled that shit. It was scheduled in his email.
He had a masseuse do it for him.
Right.
Touch.
He had that shit scheduled. It
Well,
came
and
out
then-
so fast.
He's like, yeah, our coach sucked, and I fired him after a year, but it's my fault.
Mm-hmm.
Like he fell on a sword for reasons that, like,
Also-
dude, you own the team. You don't have to fall on the sword for anybody.
Let's not beat around the bush here. They had 2 interviews today. Both were African American candidates, and then tomorrow they're interviewing Mike Vrabel. They'll have a coach by the end of tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just interviewed the 2 guys today to get away. I think Byron Leftwich was one of them.
Oh,
Ugh.
lefty.
Yeah,
Poor lefty.
just
Poor lefty.
Vrabel will be the head coach with them by the end of the week,
And he should be.
and he should be. You're
Like
right.
that's the right fit for that organization.
It
Like,
absolutely is. Yep.
it's gonna be Belichick-esque. So there's gonna be Robert Kraft being like comfortable and familiar with the process,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not going to have to be him dealing with Bill Belichick.
Do you
And I
think,
think- Go ahead.
Mayo got in trouble for winning that game?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I think Kraft wanted that number 1 overall pick. But I think he had made this decision before. I think he knew he was going to let Mayo.
I don't think it was like the deciding factor, but like
Yeah.
it certainly didn't help his case any.
He wanted that pick. I mean,
But you
especially
can't.
with how it landed too. Like the Patriots went from 1 to 4, and the two teams that need quarterbacks went ahead of them now. So you lost all your leverage. You have absolutely nothing. And
If it was one more spot, they would have been okay because they could have
yeah,
gotten
3, they
Travis
would have been
Hunter.
fine. But it's not the way it worked. So
Mayo out after one season, after they inexplicably just brought him in, like they offered him that job out of nowhere,
yeah.
and then
He was allegedly the head coach in waiting. They had apparently promised
he
him
was.
the job for a few years.
And then I heard somewhere that him and Belichick got into a huge fight at some point, and they
Nothing
stopped
would
talking to
surprise
each
me.
other.
I'm the
And
Jets. Whoever,
Robert Kraft also said that Mayo needs like 3 or 4 more years of seasoning before he should be a head coach. Like, what the fuck? You hired him. You gave him
Yeah.
coach in waiting. You're an idiot.
whoever becomes the new Jets head coach, I would seriously look at him, Mayo, to join your defensive staff somehow. Just number one,
Yeah.
just to. I think
If you're
the revenge factor, I think, is real,
If-
and somebody wants to try to get back at a team that shit canned them.
if you were Duke football, don't you find a space on your roster on your coaching staff for Jared Mayo now?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is like going into the season, we were like, this is not going to be good. He said it's not going to be good. It's going to take time.
Yep.
They had nobody. Drake May is good. Like that was their only protect Drake May at all costs, make him good,
Yep.
make the team better next year. And he did not get the chance to do that. That's kind of crazy. Like they're just like, you're a bad coach. He was a bad coach. I mean, he made some dumb moves. But wow. What were they expecting was going to happen? Like, is it just because he
Yeah.
made some bonehead moves and some bonehead things that he said in press conferences, or
Well, and it's been said a lot in a lot of different situations, and it's axiomatic over the last few decades. But you never want to be the guy that follows the guy.
that's true.
You always want to be the guy that follows the guy that follows the guy.
Right.
Like,
Yes.
they may have hired Jared Mayo saying, "Hey, if he's great, great. But if he sucks, we can get rid of him in a year and hire who we really want, and it won't make a difference. There will be less pressure on that guy."
I agree, Drew, and I actually think that Kraft didn't expect Vrabel to be available last
No,
year.
they knew he was
Yeah.
available.
Yeah, but like I think they had already
Before,
made the deal
they had
with
already
Mayo,
made
right.
that
They had already
deal?
made the
Yeah.
deal with Mayo. Yeah.
I think had that deal never been, I mean, I think Vrabel would have been their coach last year or this
Yeah.
year. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Well, we'll see how that goes. Antonio Pierce, Raiders coach, fired just before I left for work. He got fired. I don't know. Drew, what do you think of this move?
Because as I've so commonly said, the way it's been since John Gruden 1.0 is that whoever the Raiders coach is just their coach until the next coach. I'm instead going to defer and use my time to go back a week to the Christmas Day games. Did anybody else see the Mariah Carey Open for the Netflix game with the
Yes,
Ravens
yeah.
Texans? Like, is it me? Like, that was off-putting and creepy.
yes.
Yeah.
It was either her decision or the way they cut it. Can she not move? Like, she was animatronic. She had like the one kind of hip thing, and that was
Yeah.
it. It was
Mhm.
like Mariah Carey at Chuck E. Cheese's. What the hell is going wrong here?
She is old, right?
She's not that
older now.
old.
She's older.
She's in her middle 50s. I don't expect her hips to have seized robotically.
They may have. I
She
can
looked
barely
like
move.
C-3PO out there.
I still
Oh, thank the maker.
We didn't talk about it, by the way, Beyonce's halftime show. That was pretty fucking good.
It was all right.
I like
That
it.
sounds great.
Netflix spending money like a drunken sailor, but it was all right. I hated their score bug. Awful. Anyway,
Yeah, that would look bad. Yeah.
Pierce out.
that's
Got
fine.
anybody you
Whatever.
want in?
Like, whatever. No, because it'll be the wrong guy. Like,
Defeated. You are a defeated man.
can they hire John Madden? Like, this is what I want.
Joker painting shall
Joker,
return.
Fine. It's not going to get any, it's like that scene in Life of Brian. It can't get any worse for me.
Oh my god. This is fun. The Titans fired Rand Carthon, which I like saying that name. Rand Carthon. Who
Speaking
is
of like
the-
Star Wars characters, that sounds like a
Yeah,
bar
really,
owner.
no shit.
Yeah,
Mos
he's got a
Eisley.
barge somewhere on Mos Eisley.
Slab bulk meat.
Yeah.
Rand Carthon fired about 4 years too late because he ruined this team by getting rid of AJ Brown Firing Mike Vrabel. He didn't sign Derrick Henry. What else? He drafted Will Levis.
Drafted tackles and
drafted a bunch of offensive linemen who can't block.
Yeah.
Rand Carthon out. Greg B in. Killer Greg in.
That's what I hear.
Sources say. Say Greg B is coming in.
What do they do with number one? And which is not a question of what do they pick. It's a question of do they fuck this up?
Yes.
I would take Travis Hunter.
They should trade back.
I would take Travis Hunter. I would say fuck it. I'd take Travis Hunter. Give up your second rounder for JJ McCarthy. Done.
That's not a bad idea.
Well, the problem with that is they don't have anybody who can throw the ball to Travis Hunter. And if they trade for JJ McCarthy, they still don't have anybody who can throw the ball to Travis Hunter.
Shots fired.
Dad, Drew's picking on me again.
You didn't throw any passes in the second half against Penn State, boy. Quiet down.
I didn't have to. We won.
The dad just presses volume up on McConkey.
Yeah.
Just no response.
He puts his headphones on.
Yeah, right.
We won't visit you in Nashville if you do get traded there.
I think Travis Hunter honestly is actually a pretty good fit in Tennessee. They need talking about a team that needs an identity. This team is just there. Travis Hunter at least gives them somebody. At least gives them.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could say the same thing about Shadir Sanders.
Exciting
Also
player.
gives them an identity, but I would take.
But they
Travis
can't
Hunter.
protect it. Yeah, it's God. I'm trying to think. Like, what's the craziest, dumbest thing they could do? Like, could they take Ashton Janty number one?
Oh my God!
Would the universe explode? That wouldn't happen, right? That wouldn't happen.
No, that's not going
We
to happen.
agree.
Yeah.
I don't think that happens.
They could trade down. I mean, I do think that's a possibility. Like
They
with
should.
the
They
Raiders,
need
if
more
the
than
Raiders
one
one of
guy.
those two quarterbacks, I think that's a possibility. The Saints, I think, are another possibility. Trade all the way up. You know, they can use a quarterback because Derek Carr.
I could see like the Giants moving up.
if they want to leapfrog the Browns.
We got to
I
get
think the Browns
somebody,
are gonna
otherwise we're getting fired. So let's get somebody.
Are the Browns going to take a quarterback, or do the Browns say
No, the Browns are going to take a
The
quarterback.
Browns will 100% take a
They're
quarterback.
taking a quarterback,
They
is what everyone
restructured
says.
Watson's deal, and
They
his
have
rehab
to.
isn't going well. He might not
He's
even be on
also-
the roster next
How
year.
old is he now? Like, I mean, he's the fact that ignoring the fact he's a
True,
weird,
he's not a child anymore.
crazy rapist psycho. He's
He
still
has
know,
the
ignoring
mind of
that.
he has the mind of a child?
yeah.
Everyone says they're
Master
taking a
Blaster?
quarterback. I don't know.
Oh, I'll put
Well,
money on that.
also listen, more so than in any other year, and I understand that teams talk themselves into quarterbacks being good, but like, you know, every team in the top 10 just about is going to say, oh, they're going to take a quarterback. There's only 2 quarterbacks we're taking.
Yeah.
And yes, I understand as a general manager, like it's expected that you take a quarterback, but you're not going to take a guy who's going to cost you your job.
Mhm.
If you're not going to take a guy that you don't believe in. And there's not a lot of guys worth believing in. You're going to take Carson Beck and his surgically repaired elbow.
Yeah.
He
Right.
was barely a first round pick at the start of the
Yeah,
season. He's
right.
definitely not now.
No. Pretty bad year for quarterbacks, but teams will take a swing because you got to hope.
Maybe the Titans pay Kirk Cousins a bunch of money and then draft
Maybe.
Travis Hunter.
Maybe. Like honestly, to me,
Somebody's
Travis
going to.
Hunter is like the biggest. Like that's the easiest pick, and that should be the pick.
Okay. All right. This part of the show, we're gonna go through the games quickly, and then we're gonna move our losers into their brackets. So
Very good.
Let's bring those loser brackets up here real quick. Let's get those up.
Oh no, you're gonna make my video small. I don't like that.
I'm so
I have
sorry. Your face will
inadequacy issues.
Your face will be smaller.
No,
Do you like it better on the bottom or the top?
you pervert.
Hello.
All right. Let's get this up. Ravens beat the Browns. Nothing to say here. The Browns are categories
Hold
are.
Hold on,
Excuse me.
there's
Yeah.
one thing I want to say here as it
Yeah.
pertains to the Ravens.
Uh-huh.
And this was because, again, watching them in Houston on Christmas Day, like Lamar Jackson just turned 28 today or yesterday or whatever.
Uh-huh.
He's got 62 or 6,300 rushing yards. He's got the most rushing yards of a quarterback all time.
Yep.
Is Lamar Jackson going to run for 10,000 yards?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah,
probably. I think
I
so.
don't-
Will he be a quarterback who runs for 10,000 yards?
barring injury, why not?
Yeah.
Because, like, let's say he does it over the next 7 seasons. He would need to average like 650 yards a year. That doesn't
could do
seem
that.
crazy.
No,
He
it
could
doesn't.
definitely
Assuming
do
he's healthy. That is so absurd. That is ridiculous.
That's awesome. Okay, the categories for teams that have been knocked out. There's hope with a question mark. There's one Aaron Rodgers away. There's still Jeff Fisher. Or I guess if you weren't Jeff Fisher, you're going up to Jeff Fisher. Sad Boys, as always. And Trash Fire, which is the bottom category. Okay. So, the Ravens beat the Browns. The only thing to talk about actually in the game was Zay Flowers is injured.
Yep.
Which is not good.
Not
Which
good.
is not good at all.
Not good for Drew's Dynasty Fantasy League either.
Yeah.
Ooh.
They said he might be able to come back for the next game, division game, but
We'll see.
I don't think so. That was a bad injury.
It didn't look good.
Yeah.
It didn't look good. So the Browns, we just talked about them. Where do they belong?
Trash
do they belong
fire.
in Trash Fire because of this contract?
Catch fire.
Crash.
Yeah.
There's no hope for this squad.
All right.
They
fire.
belong there. They belong there.
All right. The
Other teams just visit the trash fire.
Yeah, right.
The Browns were forged in the trash fire.
the Bengals beat the Steelers. They had a shot to make it. They needed the Dolphins to lose, which happened. And they needed the Chiefs to win, and the Chiefs made sure that didn't happen. They just ran that fullback dive all game and lost 38-0.
Bengals did their part.
They did. They did.
Where do the Bengals fall?
Well, I'm going to say this right now too. The Bengals had a almost 5,000-yard passer, almost right,
Yes.
plus 40 touchdowns.
Yes.
Yep.
Very little interceptions.
Yes.
They had a running back who had I think it was 1,300 overall total yards with
Yep.
rushing and receiving. They had two knockout receivers. They
one
had
who won the Triple Crown.
one who won the Triple Crown. They had the NFL leader in sacks. with Hendrickson
Right,
at 17 and a
Hendrickson.
half,
Yep.
and they didn't make the playoffs. How is
Yeah.
Zach still got his job? At this point, I think he is. This is 2 years in a row now. They haven't made the playoffs.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Are we happy with this mediocrity? Because it seems to be.
I think they fired the offensive coordinator.
No, the
Yeah.
defensive
Which is the guy that,
coordinator.
defensive
They
coordinator.
fired the defensive coordinator.
But I don't even think that was the right move because if anybody has shown that they got the Chiefs' numbers, it's the Bengals,
Cincinnati.
especially playing defense. So I think he should be a hot commodity. I think that was kind of a dumb move on their part. I just wonder, there's always a surprise firing. It probably won't be him because it would have happened already. But they're getting in this Marvin Lewis territory without making the playoffs every
That's
year.
true.
So,
Back to Marvin Lewis.
yeah.
You know what's funny about them though is they lost that opening game to the Patriots.
Yeah, I know.
Remember
Yeah, I
that?
know.
Yeah.
And that cost them the playoffs.
And that cost them the playoffs. That stupid Patriots team beat them. With
Because of
Jacoby
everything-
Brissett.
Yeah, because of everything I said with all that talent, I think you have to put him in hope because you still have Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
As
Yeah,
long as
I
Joe
agree.
Burrow's there, you always have hope. But
I agree.
Okay.
it's
Real quick game note here. Killer Greg was at the game. Which is
yes,
hilarious.
yeah,
Killer Greg was at the game.
randomly
And-
at the game.
His take on the game was not so much anything about the game as much as he said, you don't realize how much Steelers fans hate Mike Tomlin. They hate him. At least in the section I was in, all they did was shit talk Mike Tomlin the entire time.
When Killer Greg sent us a picture of him at the stadium, he had there's people in front of him. I said, Greg, you know what? If you just said I'm at the Steelers game and there's two people sitting in front of me in Steelers jerseys, name the jerseys, I would have guessed Hines Ward and Troy Polamalu.
Yeah,
And that's
what it was.
exactly who was right in front of it.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Category for myself is the ballot. The Panthers beat the Falcons. Yay! Bryce Young responsible for 5 touchdowns in the game.
I'm putting your Panthers in hope. I
You think?
the last couple of weeks they have
You
shown me
think?
a lot. 5 touchdowns, against a team that needed to win.
The Falcons are out, which makes me happy.
Drew doesn't like it.
Panthers need a lot of pieces.
The defense is bad.
They still need a lot of pieces, which implies to me they are more than one Aaron Rodgers.
You
away.
think you're a Jeff Fisher, maybe
I
then?
think so. I think so. I agree
That's
with
where I
Mark's
put them
points
too.
that they're.
All right. Well,
I agree with Mark's
acquiesce
point that
to
they're
the group.
finishing the season strong, but
Mm.
They
like,
are
looking
they are,
into next year. Do you view the Panthers as a threat as they are currently constructed?
they are within spitting distance of mediocrity.
That division is horrible. That's the only thing I could
Yes,
say.
that is their saving grace.
Maybe this can help.
That's right.
Dave Canales book.
Have you read more of it?
No, absolutely
Okay.
not. The Falcons. Yay, Panthers. Falcons.
You know what? They might be one Aaron Rodgers away.
They might be one Aaron Rodgers away. I agree.
Wow.
I think that's a good spot for them.
Penix showed out. He was all right.
He was good in that last game.
Right.
He was
Once
all
he got
right.
his wooden wheelchair out from the garden,
Just
so he
wait.
could see the
Just
sun
wait
all
till
the
that.
time.
Just wait till that Metamucil money kicks in.
Right.
It's gonna be great.
And I mean, listen, the Falcons have enough weapons on offense where you're like, all right, this like in Madden, this works. How come this doesn't work on the
Right.
field?
Yeah.
And so, you know, that they are not. What am I trying to say? They're not in a similar boat to the Panthers. Sorry, Ryan. Like you look at their wide receivers and you're like, all
They
right, they got
should be
wide
closer.
receivers. They got a guy who should be a tight end. They got an
Right.
all-world running back. Like
Mhm.
they're only
And
missing
they have
one big
Michael Silver Sneakers Penix.
Yeah.
They do have him. That's
Bijan, by
all
the
the
way, Bijan on the sideline had the Joe Burrow look to his eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
That
Yes.
oh my god, what have I got myself into for the next 5 years?
Oh no. The coach isn't that good, I don't think, right? Raheem Morris is not a good coach, right?
No,
He's the Jeff Fisher of coaches.
yeah, right. But still one level above Jeff. I
Above
actually
Jeff
think that's a
Fisher,
good spot
yeah.
for them. I think that's a good spot.
All right, one level above. The Commanders, Mark's Commanders beat the Cowboys with their backups. The Cowboys don't have a coach right now. Are they even on there? What the fuck, Cowboys?
Yes.
Oh,
Middle
Yeah,
row,
top
fifth
row,
from the
yeah.
left.
The
or
Sad
first row
Boys?
from the- Yes.
Dak
Sad
is
Boys.
Dak
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
Dak is gonna come back, I assume.
And even that's sad. Like that's just like
Yeah.
why are we
Yeah.
doing this again? Come on. We've seen what he can do. He's like another year older, another year
He's signed
more
to that mega contract though.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
amazing that they somehow have had 2 Tony Romos in a row.
Yeah,
Yep.
Mike, you're right. Yeah.
That's funny. What are the
They
odds?
basically got slightly more mobile, slightly more ethnic Tony Romo.
But once again, like if you need to win a game, I cannot think of a quarterback I trust less than Dak Prescott to win this
Yeah.
game.
That's true. How likely is it that the Dallas Cowboys draft Janty from Boise State?
I
With
mean,
pick
that's
12.
almost automatic, right?
Yeah, right.
They're gonna
that
do
would
it,
make the
right?
most sense.
It's almost automatic.
They need it badly,
They cannot
and-
run the ball.
Mhm.
They've been a successful offense when they can run the ball.
Yep. You would think that they're
The only
gonna do
risk
this
is-
again.
Everybody sees that too, so you can just jump up. You know, it's not like they pick early.
Sure.
Yeah.
You can jump up to 9 through 11 and steal them. So
Then you'd
Yeah,
have
but
to
you would have to
move
have
up.
another team who feels like it's worth it to jump up to grab a
I
running
don't
back
see
in the
that
first
happening.
round, which is kind of passe these
The
days.
Falcons are the only ones who would do it, and they've already got their guys.
They've already got a running
Do
back.
the Niners take him at 11?
Not impossible.
yeah, right.
maybe.
That'll
By the
cause
way, I
them
heard at
to
least
panic.
one
Gi-
pundit
given
say Aaron
Christian-
Rodgers to the Niners. So, you know, looking forward
God.
to Mike's head melting.
Oh my god. Well, they're on this list. Okay, so that's that. Caleb's dad is not so sad because the Bears defeated the Packers for the first time in 12 games. 12
Sad
games.
boys. Still sad, boys.
Sad boys.
Yeah,
They
sad
spent
boys.
a lot of money. They brought in a lot of dudes. They fired their coach. Now they're trying to interview somebody else's cast-off coach. This is not a good team.
I looked at too. They brought in so many like name defenders,
Yes.
Mm.
and none of them did a
None of them
thing
were
on
good.
this squad. So yeah, sad boys is good for
Their
them.
defense wasn't bad before Eberflus got fired. They were okay. It's after Eberflus's firing that they really went in the tank. Texans beat the Titans. Titans had the first pick. Titans are trash fire or
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Because,
unfortunately.
boy, the cupboard is bare.
Yeah, right. Trash
got
fire
nothing.
only that the talent is. You're right.
they got nothing. They're
I'm also not a fan of keeping Callahan either, but
But,
Yeah.
No.
but Mark, they have Will Levis.
megastar. Yeah, he'll be look great in a Bills uniform next year.
I would love that.
The third stringer behind Mitch Trubisky.
Fourth stringer behind Mike White.
Mitch can't go anywhere.
Mike fucking White, excuse me.
Like fucking white. The Colts, stupid. They beat the Jags.
Trash fire.
Wow,
Oh.
coming in hot.
Emphatically trash fire. The Colts are an absolute fucking mess.
They're one that also kept all of their personnel as far as executives and
Sure.
Remember
Man.
when they had a shot at the playoffs?
You know what's weird is like
What a weird season
Yeah.
it was.
I would say they
Remember
have
when
more
they played the
talent.
Bills like frisky? They almost beat the Bills.
Yeah, the playoffs. Yeah, I they have more talent than the Titans, but they're somehow more dysfunctional.
It's
So I
because
think
they have more talent.
Right. Yeah. All right. Trash fire's fine.
They won a lot of games for
So,
trash
okay,
fire.
and let me draw a
Look,
delineation.
anytime your franchise quarterback says, "Nah, bro, I'm good. I'm tired."
Yeah, right.
Like, sorry,
Yo, my
So
back
let me-
hurts. I can't play.
My back hurts.
Let me-
My neck hurts.
done.
Let me draw a delineation here because we can't subcategorize officially, but a subcategory here. The Colts are trash fire almost specifically because Anthony Richardson is a trash fire. The rest of the
Yeah.
team may not be, except for their owner and coach and GM. Never mind, they're a trash fire.
Yeah. They're
Yeah, that's the problem. All right, the Jags, are they also a sad? Are they a trash boy or are they a sad boy? Because they really didn't
sad.
have
I think they're a sad boy.
Trevor.
Yeah.
All right, sad boys.
There's a difference between a team that is actively badly run and a team that is badly run, but they're trying to do the right thing.
They also
Right.
have Brian Thomas Jr.
And you're right. And I want to point out that there are plenty of times where they showed the Jaguars in the sidelines, and they do always look sad. So I feel like
Yeah,
sad boys.
They look legit sad.
Trevor Lawrence has that depressed look on his face all the time this year. So definitely sad boys.
I'm real interested to see if Trevor Lawrence is going to still be bad when he gets back. Is he
Got
still bad?
It'll be a next year pod.
That's a
discussion.
next year discussion.
Draft discussion, maybe.
Patriots beat the Bills. Are they a sad boy or a trash fire? They have Drake May, which I think is a
Yeah.
success.
Yeah,
Or
but
they
they
a
also
trash
fired
fire.
their first year coach.
And there's also no other talent other than Drake
Yeah,
May.
they're
Right, yeah.
devoid of talent,
And they don't have the first overall pick.
Right.
and they lost that. Okay, trash fire. Eagles beat the Giants. I mean, come on,
Yeah, I know.
Giants.
Right.
Are
Giants are trash fire.
Giants are currently on fire.
Oh
If
boy,
there was
how
a
good, how
depths
good is
of
Malik
hell.
Neighbors?
Can,
Oh,
can we
he's
just put the
great.
Jets? Can we just put the Jets in there now too and save ourselves the hassle?
no,
Yeah,
we gotta
that's
go. We
fine.
gotta go over that.
Just double bag that New York team
Oh,
and call it a
fine.
day.
No,
All
put him
right.
one Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, cruel fate.
One Kirk Cousins
No, shove him
away.
back on the trash. Shove him back on the trash.
One Kirk Cousins away. They're just one real Aaron Rodgers away. Eagles beat the Giants. Yeah, the Giants stink. We made fun of
good,
them
man.
enough. Bucks beat the Saints. Where do the Saints fall on this list? They didn't have Alvin Kamara.
Trash fire.
Yeah, they are.
They are bad, and they are $90 million over the cap right now today.
That's a problem.
It's gonna get worse for them
Also-
before it gets better.
Did you hear Derek Carr today or
Yeah.
the last couple of days? Kind of went off on the team because they asked him like, "Are you gonna like?" Because obviously this team is in salary cap hell next year. Like
Are you
they
gonna take a
perpetually
pay
seem to
cut?
always be. And like, do you want to take a pay? Are you gonna take a pay cut? He goes, "No, I'm not taking a pay cut. Fuck you." He's like, "I'm not gonna do that. I'm like, what I've shown on the field doesn't deserve a pay cut. I'm not taking a pay cut. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be an issue.
He's also. It's not like Derek Carr is making Jalen Brown money.
No,
Know what I
No.
mean? Like they're paying him, but he's not getting paid relative to a lot of the top guys. He's not their salary cap problem.
And this is his last contract. So, no, I'm
Yeah.
not giving up the money.
Yeah.
right?
Like this weirdly enough, if you draw it back a few seasons, this team has been sliding downhill since the mysterious Michael Thomas injury.
Yeah, that was
Mm.
weird. That
Oh,
whole thing
yeah.
started. That was, and he went off on him too. It was weird.
And went off on Carr specifically.
Yeah, right. Yeah, trash.
That's like the Brady bunch with the tiki token.
Good reference.
Or the hell, yeah.
I love that show.
I love the Brady bunch. I like to play tic tac toe on their faces in the beginning. Alex gets an X. Jan gets an O.
Oh, let me show you my O face.
I could see.
Oh,
And we're back to oiled up Rob Ryan.
Yeah,
You're
right.
all doing
Oh,
coitus.
dude.
Y'all
Coitus?
doing coitus?
No, I wish I. What does that mean? Is that categories? No.
Oh no.
Broncos.
Is that one of them French board games?
Broncos and Chiefs doesn't count for this. Broncos won with Chief backups. Carson Wentz just handing off. Seahawks are stupid. But they won 10 games amidst the playoffs. So do they have
They
to
are.
be a Jeff Fisher?
Jeff
They are.
100% Jeff Fisher.
They are.
They
the
remain
most
a Jeff Fisher.
So
Jeff
when I
Fisher
was
team.
growing up, like as a fan, the Seahawks were always 8-8, and I feel like they're back there again.
Yeah.
And I
Yes.
feel like everything for me is right in the world because the Seahawks are average again.
Yep.
So,
The only thing that makes me laugh is they fired their offensive coordinator today. Grubb, who was, I think, Michigan's offensive coordinator
Great
last
name.
year.
Yes.
They fired him, and then someone, Mike Lombardi? I forget. Somebody on TV was saying like they kept saying they were trying to run the ball and couldn't successfully run the ball with two good running backs.
Yeah, right.
That's why they fired this guy. Oh, they're stupid. The Rams are in the playoffs, so we don't have to do them. The Jets we put in the trash fire because Pucci decided to play here and beat the Dolphins. God.
Oh.
Pucci threw his 500th touchdown pass, and he was celebrating like crazy.
And
Like-
as my dad and brother, Jets fans, said, hopefully that's his signal to himself to quit now.
Please quit. The Dolphins also lost. They were depleted. Are they more of a sad boy or a trash fire?
I think they are a Hefe Fisher.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think so too.
I think so
What
too.
about Tyreek Hill? You want to talk about Tyreek Hill wanting to quit the
No.
Dolphins?
I'm
I
out.
don't want to talk about Tyreek Hill.
He's such a bitch.
Yep.
Well,
Like, there's
look,
no
I
way to
think-
describe this man. He's so
I
whiny.
think the Dolphins had some bad luck go their way this year. I don't think they're as
Yeah.
bad as their record lays out.
No.
I think
Did it-
Tua, when conscious, is a decent quarterback, and McDaniel is the Hispanic Jeff Fisher. So that's why it's
Did-
Hefe.
Hefe Fisher.
Did anybody see what Tyreek Hill did on Instagram since?
No, what do you do now?
He put up a
Or
picture
some
of
associate,
Antonio Brown?
he or some associate of his photoshopped his head onto the picture of Antonio Brown taking his pads off and waving goodbye in Tampa.
Jesus Christ, this guy.
Very silly.
So also with the Dolphins have a lot of talent, and I think
Yes.
they are obviously they've proven they can make the playoffs and they can put up a lot of points. I think and they even said it like I think today was their post-game press conference or post-season press conference, and they said the problem is Tua's not available. And
Yeah.
that's an accurate but damning statement. And here's the thing: I don't know how you make him more available. He's prone to injury. Other than beefing up the O-line, like I guess that's your best option. But
They gave him that contract.
I know.
They gave him Jaylen Brown money. They knew
I know.
this about him anyway, and they gave him the Jaylen Brown money. Oh boy. Cardinals defeated the 49ers. Cardinals are perpetually Jeff Fisher, or are they one
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers away?
No, I don't think they're one Aaron Rodgers away.
No, they're
I
not.
think
They're Jeff Fisher.
Yeah, Jeff Fisher. Not a lot to say about this team.
Nope.
Agreed.
Do the 49ers have hope, Mike?
Yes,
They
yes,
should.
they do.
They should.
They do.
All the injuries happened this year, man. Like you can't fucking hold
Yeah.
that again.
Yeah, this is just one of those weird ass lost years that happen.
Yeah.
Like the Bengals after they pooped the bed in the Super Bowl, like same thing.
You got a Debo Samuel trade to make.
Great, he can go somewhere else. I don't give a fuck where.
Send him to Miami to replace Tyreek.
There you go.
That
Trade
should
him
be
for
a fun
Tyreek
trade.
Hill.
There you
That'd
go.
be
Ugh,
Brock Purdy's going to have to get paid here soon.
we're fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's
No,
fine.
I think on it reminds me of when the Niners made the Super Bowl and then had that down year and then came right back. That's exactly what I think
Yeah.
they're going to do next year. So
Yeah.
All right. All right. So to recap, because the Lions beat the Vikings for the number 1 seed. That was the last game. Bengals and 49ers still have hope. The Falcons are one Aaron Rodgers away, which I don't know. I don't know how that works out, but okay. I feel like there's more Aaron Rodgers shooters on here that we
Wait, you
haven't
missed one.
identified.
I was
You
going to
did
say,
I
I
miss?
can't help
We
but
missed
notice.
Oh my God. I forgot about the
Notice.
Raiders.
Just go ahead and move them to trash fire.
All right.
There, we can move on.
What
There you
game
go.
did I miss? When did
Here,
the Chargers Raiders game.
Chargers Raiders.
Oh,
Are we talking about that game? Because we got
No.
an episode of McConkey this week.
Mark.
Yeah, we have to
give
talk
us the
about it.
McConkey.
Okay. So the McConkey this week is McConkey fails to bring down a wily heroin kingpin. So he ups the ante by putting himself up for sale, pretending he's got no shot at becoming captain. So he's going for dirty money. Kojak's top undercover operative, Gil, played by Gabe Kaplan, sets up an elaborate scam with the dealers, where the heroin that Gabe Kaplan, Gil, sees from heroin dealer Robert Wagner will be traded back to the
That I
smugglers.
believe.
Yeah.
And bags of sugar will be put in their place.
Wow.
Robert Wagner didn't even know he was acting.
He
He
wasn't.
As far as the Raiders are concerned, Mark will know what I'm talking about when I say this. Here, everybody on the Raiders, you all get on this bus. Not you, Brock Bowers.
Yeah, that's for real. Or Max Crosby. Max Crosby's on the bus
Yeah,
too.
don't put Max.
That's true. That's true.
Put Max on
Take
the bus.
Max off the bus.
Take him off the bus. All right, real quick recap. Hope, Bengals, 49ers. One Aaron Rodgers away, Falcons. Still Jeff Fisher. Somehow the Panthers, Seahawks, the Dolphins, and the Cardinals. Sad boys are the Cowboys, Bears, Jags, Trash Fires, everybody else. A lot of other teams. A lot of teams are in Trash Fire.
8.
There was a lot of shit teams this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really was.
More
It
than
was a
normal.
rough group of people. Rough. I mean, everyone's like 4-12 or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to figure you have a division, the NFC North, where 3 teams have 10
Yeah.
wins.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the
And-
Seahawks won 10 games and missed the playoffs,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is stupid. All right. Time for playoff picks. Playoff picks. The rule is whoever comes in last has to watch the Aaron Rodgers Enigma documentary. Do you want to go through these first round one at a time, or you want to do each individuals?
One at a
Right.
time.
I can do all the games at once. I can do them one at a time. Doesn't matter to me.
All right. All right, Mark. We'll do them all to each person will go with their full lineup. We'll start with you, Mark.
Okay. So for the AFC, for the wild card, I have, and I think it'll be a very close game, but I think Bills over Broncos. I got Ravens over Steelers. I got Chargers over Texans. Okay. In the
Okay.
NFC side, I got Eagles over Packers. I have Commanders over Bucks,
Ooh.
and I got the Rams over the Vikings.
Wow.
So, and then
Okay.
the following week, or the division round, I have Chiefs over the Chargers. I have Bills over the Ravens.
Oh boy.
I have Lions over the Commanders, and I have Eagles over the Rams.
Okay.
In the championship game, I have Chiefs over the Bills. I have Eagles over the Lions.
Wow.
And my Super Bowl, I have the Chiefs over the Eagles.
You're picking the Chiefs.
Until they prove me wrong.
Okay. All right. Drew, you look like you're ready. You want to
No,
go
I
next?
come to me last. I didn't know we were
All right.
doing all the rounds. I thought we were just doing
Yeah,
the
me
first
neither.
round.
All right. I'll do mine then. Starting in the AFC, I think the Chargers will beat the Texans easily. I think the Ravens will beat the Steelers easily, even without Zay Flowers. I think the Bills and Broncos will be close for a little bit, but Bills will pull it out. NFC, I've got the Rams over the Vikings. Mark's Rams. I think the Vikings poop the bed.
Wow, so that's 2 Rams over Vikings.
Yep.
Okay.
I think the Commanders will beat the Bucks. Surprise the Bucks here.
Hey.
Mark's Commanders. I have the Eagles crushing the Packers. The Packers are toast. Even if Jalen Hurts doesn't play, I still think the Eagles beat the Packers.
Packers got, Jordan Love's
They're
banged
dead.
up. Christian
Yeah,
Watson's
Jordan-
leg is
because
off.
Jordan Love's not
They're
going to play
looking
either.
terrible.
Right.
Okay, second round for AFC. I have the Chiefs beating the Chargers in a close one. I have the Bills beating the Ravens. And then in the NFC, I have the Lions taking on the Commanders and beating them. And I have the Eagles beating the Rams.
So it's exactly what I got.
Here's
All
where
right.
it changes. Here's where it changes.
All right.
The Bills beat the Chiefs. They finally do it. The Bills beat the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. And then the Lions defeat the Eagles, and we get an please both teams win Super Bowl. Lions versus Bills. I'm sorry to say. I'm picking the Lions. The Lions are my pick. My Super Bowl pick.
Okay.
Please don't make me watch Aaron Rodgers Enigma. Mark and I are very close.
We are, but I like that the ending's different. So
That's
that's
a little
good.
different. That's a little
smart.
different. All right, who's ready?
I can go.
All right, I'll
All right.
go.
All
All right, no, Mike, go
Drew,
first.
All right, Mike, you go first.
Okay, I've got Mike's Chargers over Houston.
Yep.
I've got Baltimore over Pittsburgh. I got Buffalo over Denver.
Wow, that's
Big-
3 for
Big
3.
stretch. Big
I know,
stretch there.
I know.
I've got Philly over the Packers, Tampa over the Commanders,
Okay.
and
Okay.
Minnesota over the Rams.
Chalk. Okay.
Okay. Next round, I've got Detroit beating Philly. No, I don't. Wait a second.
Detroit wouldn't play
I did-
Philly, will they?
No, I
No,
don't
it
know. How to
Detroit would play the
read.
Vikings.
Yeah.
I think the Vikings can win that game. You know what? The hell with that. I'm going to take the Vikings in that game.
Vikings over Lions.
Revenge game. Vikings over Lions. Then I will take.
And it would be
Philly
Bucks Eagles.
Philly over the Bucks.
Okay.
And I'll put. What the hell? I'll put Minnesota in. Let's do it. Let's put Minnesota in the Super Bowl.
Minnesota over the Eagles. Minnesota
Over the
Super Bowl.
Eagles into the Super Bowl. Yep.
Wow.
So
I like it.
over to AFC, Kansas City beats the Chargers. Buffalo beats Baltimore. Buffalo beats Kansas City.
Oh,
And it is a Vikings Bills Super Bowl.
another tortured Super Bowl.
It is a 70s 4-loss team versus a 90s 4-loss team. Someone's gonna win a Super Bowl. Goddamn it!
Don't do that to me.
Yeah. And who wins?
You know what? Bills.
Oh, okay. There's a Bills pick. All right, Drew.
Jokes on you fuckers. I don't have Netflix. I can't watch the stupid documentary.
I'm going to give you my password.
All right, I have give me the Chargers in Baltimore and Buffalo, and then
Okay.
Give me Minnesota and Tampa and Philly,
Okay.
and then give me the Chiefs to beat the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Mark. Give me the Ravens to beat the Bills,
I get it.
Wow.
and then on the other side, Detroit will beat Minnesota again. Philly, assuming Jalen Hurts is healthy at that point, Philly will beat Tampa.
Mm.
So my NFC Championship game is Philly and Detroit. Give me Detroit. Detroit goes to the Super Bowl. On the AFC side, my AFC Championship game will be Kansas City and Baltimore. Give me Baltimore.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I like this.
And then Baltimore and Detroit in the Super Bowl. Give me Detroit.
Nice.
Look, other than the Bills winning,
pretty good.
That's the outcome I would like to see.
Oh, absolutely.
Detroit.
Actually, no. You know what? Flip it, because Detroit's got 275 guys on the injured reserve. Give me Baltimore in the Super Bowl.
Boo.
Derrick Henry's going to have 40 carries.
I can't wait for Lamar to shit the bed in the first round again. It's
Or
gonna
his
be great.
pants.
Or his pants. Yeah.
Both.
Why not both?
They are 100% not losing to the Steelers in the first round.
yeah,
I don't think
so.
I've ever felt more
I don't think
confident
so.
about a game this year.
So this is
And
four. We have four
trouncing.
different Super Bowl winners. Is that right?
What?
Well, we had to, just for argument's sake. We couldn't
Yeah,
all
right,
agree.
yeah.
That's no freaking fun.
All right. Okay. It's out there now. Somebody has to keep track of this. I have to go write this all down.
Well, hopefully you.
Yeah, right.
And not Drew. It will not be Drew that keeps track of it.
Wow.
Sure won't.
Mark was right on every pick according to Mark. That's weird. I wish we wrote it down to prove him wrong.
I have no interest in losing this bet. So I do not want to lose this bet. So okay, I will fuck with the standings. All right. Broadcasting moments of the week.
You know a guy who did that in fantasy football.
Oh, God. No one on
Right.
earth remembers Jerry Azuma except us.
All right. The Hacketus of Hackett play. I don't know if you can see this, but the throwback pass to Aaron Rodgers. Hackett definitely came up with this one, right?
Yeah.
Then the throwback and then the demolishing of Devontae Adams.
As-
This is a
as-
Hackett play.
I was at my brother's house when this game was on, and as I said to my brother, the problem with this play is the one person who was not supposed to get the ball at the end of the play was back to Devontae Adams.
Yeah,
That's
right.
Yeah, that was
exactly
the
where it
one
went.
read you don't do.
Yeah.
Oh, Devontae, you ruined my last moment as a Jet. Fuck. Broadcasting moment. This is really funny. The Titans and Texans game was interrupted by CBS with a Titans and Texans update. Yes, that's correct.
That's awesome.
CBS cuts to a studio update with a
We're not even
update
watching
from
the game in the
the
studio.
game they're watching.
Not for nothing. Is it
Is
not
it-
an asshole move by the Tennessee Titans to wear the Oilers jerseys every time?
Oh,
they
it's
play
a
Houston?
complete
Oh,
asshole
It's such
move.
a because the Houston Oilers uniforms are fucking awesome. That is such a great look,
and they don't
to just-
deserve them. There's a team in
No.
Houston again.
Yeah, Exactly. Cleveland kept the Browns. Look, Tennessee, you're the Titans. That's great. Give Houston back the Oilers.
So lame.
Also,
Yeah, I thought
you know
this was
what?
incredible. I don't remember this ever happening.
Yeah, because you know
Watched
what?
a lot of football.
You know what? The Thunder don't wear their Sonics throwbacks.
They didn't.
I
They
just,
gave those up. They gave
yeah.
those
saw
up
some
in the
news.
deal.
We got some news here. Not
When
really
Art
long.
Modell has the classier decision over you,
You're,
think
that's a
about that for a
problem.
second.
That's a problem.
The
What's our breaking
Niners
news?
fired their defensive coordinator, and there were rumors that Salazar's on his way back.
let's
So-
go.
He is interviewing with the Jags though.
Yeah,
Salah is
Fuck
going
that.
to.
He's coming home. Let's go.
Just one more for you. One more Will Levis update. Oh, Will, you brought us so much fun, and it's over. Here he is in the
Yeah.
Oilers. I don't know what this is. Raining, making it rain.
That one on the sidelines is still my favorite. That's
The sad boy,
yeah.
No,
or
him
the
just going,
one where he
"Oh,
flexes. He
no!"
murders the guy and then flexes. Is
Yeah.
that one. Oh, Will. How about Jerry Jones acting
Yes.
well in whatever this Billy Bob Thornton show is?
Yeah,
Did you see
right.
this?
I've heard
So-
this show
so
is very good.
I think it's Lineman or Oilman or something like that. It might be
Landman.
Landman. So it's Jerry Jones acting against John Hamm and Billy Bob Thornton, and he absolutely murders it.
It's so
Like,
good.
Legit. Now again, because it's not Jerry being Jerry. Like I legitimately think like that was him actually reminiscing about his own life.
Mhm.
Like
Oh, it
he
has
built
to be
this
because he
thing.
actually cries.
Yeah,
It's
it is-
great.
It is absolutely.
It's legit
again,
great.
I think it was
watch
like an impromptu speech, and it was absolutely amazing.
It's like I cannot believe he pulled this off.
So Jerry Jones, not the Cedars Suzuki Dip of the Week.
Wow, because he's an actor.
Like,
not
maybe he missed his
extraordinaire.
calling.
He's in one other movie. I think he's got his SAG card now.
Yeah, right.
He's a grand
Bring him in.
thespian.
Talking about oil and gas. All right, this is the last one. Here he is. Remember last year when these teams decided
Oh yeah.
God,
Yeah,
to put these graphics out and talk about who they interviewed?
There's not enough baby oil in the state of New Jersey, baby.
Y'all
Come on,
doing
Rob.
coitus.
Come on home.
Y'all doing coitus is all I gotta
Nice.
say. Y'all doing coitus. Rex Ryan has been interviewed by the Jets.
Amazing.
Why?
So
Why
great.
did the teams do this?
I honestly think he's the favorite to get that job.
Oh my God! Please, Mark, you can't do this to me. You
No,
can't.
he's definitely the favorite.
heartbreaking.
To get that job. He's definitely the favorite to get that job because why do you interview him if he's not?
Correct.
Oh God!
Correct.
What has he done? He's been out of coaching for
He
what?
knows how to
10
handle.
years?
He knows how to work with Woody Johnson, and in Woody Johnson's eyes, that might be enough.
Yep. That's how John
Ambassador
Gruden ended
Johnson.
up back with the Raiders, and
I mean,
depending
in
on what rumor
fairness,
you believe, may a third time.
Rex Ryan was the last time the Jets were successful.
True.
I think there's a
Man-
very good chance.
man
by
went
next
to
year
the-
that happens.
please.
Man went to an AFC title game with Mark Sanchez.
Went to 2 AFC title games
That's
with
right.
Mark Sanchez.
Holy
Yeah.
hell! There was a
Beat
time
Tom
when the
Brady
Jets
to
were
get to
good.
one.
Mhm.
Okay, Stripe Spiral time. What do
So
we got?
a couple of weeks back, we said, what we learned was that there weren't 12 championship caliber NCAA football
Yeah,
teams.
sure
and
enough.
that I was
Are there
afraid that
four?
I was afraid that what we were going to learn is that there weren't 8 NCAA championship caliber football teams, and that was true.
Yeah.
But some of the ones who failed out were not the ones that I thought. Arizona State, they might as well build the statue of Cam Scatterboo now because he's the only reason they were competitive in that game at all and almost single-handedly beat Texas, which would have been the upset of the year.
That was a great game.
Well, except for Northern Illinois over Notre Dame, but you know what I mean. That ended up being the best game of the weekend, which honestly, going into the weekend, I thought was going to be the worst game of the weekend. Oregon got resoundingly thumped by Ohio
Yeah.
State in the
That
rematch.
was crazy.
Ohio State is suddenly playing their best football, which sucks because I hate them, but they might well be the best team in the country right now today. Like, if you asked me which of the 4 remaining teams do I think is going to win, I would pick Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Day is just so awful. Notre Dame, I still don't think is that good.
Yeah.
I think Georgia looked like crap. I think their backup quarterback is a gamer, but clearly, like, Carson Beck is not great, but he's clearly better than Joe Strummer or whatever that kid's name is that they threw out there. But I don't think, what did Notre Dame actually do in this game? They had a
Return
kickoff
to kick.
for a touchdown. They had a couple of, they forced some turnovers. Their defense looked good. That was the part of the team that we knew was good. I don't think Notre Dame's that great. Still, I don't believe in them. I think they got an easy road. And then, Penn State thoroughly ran Boise State through the ringer, which is what we all knew was going to happen. And so that leaves us with a Final Four of Notre Dame and Penn State. James Franklin could totally backdoor his way into a national championship, despite everybody believing that if he loses any of these playoff games, he's fired. And then Ohio State, Texas, which you would pick Ohio State in that game right now today, and I think they're something like a 7 or 8 point favorite. But actually, what does it say? They're a 5.5 favorite. But
I would take Texas.
But here's the thing. Texas has managed to win all these games. They have not yet played their best game.
Yeah.
Like every game they've played this season, there's been something wrong. And maybe this is it. Maybe this is the week. If they play their best game, they will beat Ohio State. Now, it will take their best game to do it. But as good as Texas is, we have not seen them play their best football yet. And if they can channel that, then it'll be Penn State and Texas in the national championship game, in which case I would take Texas and probably put all my possums on it.
That's a 5 out of 5 possum right there.
I would wager all of my possums on
That is a whole possum family.
Arch,
Including Bitey.
Arch didn't play against Arizona State.
Not a snap.
Like normally there's some packages they work in for him for quarterback sneak stuff. He didn't play at all. He never saw the field. That was all Quinn Ewers. That 4th down throw he makes is absurd. Totally absurd.
Does Ewers come out in the draft?
He has said he will not unless he completely balls out in these final couple of games.
I think if he wins the national championship, he'll come out.
Does that mean one of these top 10 teams is happy?
If he plays super well, maybe. Here's the other thing. If he doesn't come out, I don't think he's going to be playing for Texas next year. Because they want Arch. Their assumption was that Quinn was going to go. And, and there's going to be any number of high-profile teams who have an opening who will throw gobs of money at him to give him another chance to put his NFL reel together. He could very well be the quarterback at Oregon next year.
They don't want to cause any problems with the Arch. And I almost guarantee they told him this next year you're starting. So
Absolutely.
They cannot, because
that's
once
why
again,
they
like
played
you're
him
saying,
as much as they did this year.
Right, exactly. So
he
won't be back if he's
Quinn has said he won't come out unless he truly blows up in these playoffs, which he's played well. He hasn't blown up. And so I think 2 things are going to happen. I think Ewers is going to go back to school, and I think it's going to be for somebody other than Texas.
I think if Ewers does have 2 good back-to-back games and he wins the national championship, I mean, he could sneak. I mean, we were just talking about it. This year's draft class is 2 guys and nobody. He could probably back into the first round.
Yeah, if he throws 8 or 9 touchdowns combined in those 2 games against what would be 2 pretty good defenses, then yes, absolutely.
Interesting. Okay. Any other any other stripe spirals to get to? Or are we good?
No, not a lot's happened. It's kind of the quiet part of the year.
All right, we're moving on to football FUBAR.
I'm an ass man. Yeah, I'm an ass man.
That is my theme song for football FUBAR.
You want that now?
No, I don't want that.
Oh, okay.
Give me the Repo Man.
Are you sure I can do this one?
No, my mic has chlamydia. Thanks.
All right.
We're all itchy.
McCarthy. Get it together. All right. It is time for the football FUBAR.
And you want to talk about a long overdue induction. I had to go through the football FUBAR archives, gentlemen, and make sure I hadn't already inducted this idiot and just forgot about it, okay? But it's true, I never did. And maybe it's because I was just sick of talking about him or because he's the wide receiver equivalent of Poochie. But the time is officially now because today we induct the soon-to-be former Miami Dolphin and NFL shitbag Tyreek Hill into football FUBAR. So let's just start with this. I'm not going to waste my time talking about his accomplishments. He runs fast. He catches ball good. No
I'm
argument
shocked
there.
it took this long. I could have sworn he was in.
I really had to go back and look. So, But
You had to track down the last child support payment to make sure it was correct.
oh yes, indeed. We all know he's fine on the field, right? Good player. Total shitbag off the field. No argument here anymore, not even from Dolphin fans. So let's start with his early lowlights. Coming out of high school, Hill's grades were so abysmally low, he couldn't even qualify for a Division I scholarship. He played 2 years at a prep school until his grades were barely high enough where Oklahoma State offered him a scholarship in 2014. Presumably, it was written in crayon so Tyreek could read it. Hill promptly awarded them for this trust by getting arrested for strangling his pregnant girlfriend. Now, this is honestly fucking sickening, this next part. It almost made me want to stop the induction here. Police reports of that night said he threw her around like a rag doll and, quote, punched her repeatedly in the stomach. This fucking asshole. Okay. Under normal circumstances, he'd spend the next decade in jail, but remember what I said. He's super fast and he can catch the ball good. So who cares? Oklahoma State, however, did care, and they did the right thing and booted him from the team. He finished his career at Division II West Alabama before finally getting drafted by the Chiefs in the 5th round of the 2016 draft. And now that his NFL career began to kick off, he reminded everybody in 2019 what a horrible person he is when he got arrested in March of 2019 for breaking his now 3-year-old son's arm after his son didn't pick up his toys. The child was removed from Hill's household and placed in Child Protective Services until reunited with his mother. During a phone conference, this is, by the way, the same mom who Hill almost killed, right? Strangled and almost killed. During a phone conversation that the child's mother secretly taped between herself and Hill, she told Hill that the child was afraid of him, and Hill replied, quote, "You should be afraid of me too, bitch," end quote. So for assaulting his son and threatening the mother of his child, Andy Reid told Hill that he'd been a very naughty boy, and Hill got off completely scot-free because, remember, gentlemen, he runs very fast and can catch the ball good. Hill was back at it in 2023, getting arrested at a marina for assaulting an elderly employee after the employee instructed Hill he wasn't allowed to park in that spot. So for those keeping score, Hill has now assaulted pregnant women, children, and the elderly in his life. So
that's the trifecta.
That's the trifecta. But that's not all, because in that same year, he also assaulted a TikTok influencer after inviting her over to his house to practice football moves. And she bowled him over on a wide receiver drill on a live stream. That embarrassed the diminutive psychopath, who then pushed her over to the ground to prove his dominance over her.
Now, in defense, she is a TikTok streamer, so that might be permissible. But other than that, no.
By the law, yeah. So Tyreek, now with the Dolphins, famously said that the team shouldn't pay Jalen Waddle, as he deserves to be the highest paid player on the team and in the NFL. The Dolphins wisely gave their non-lunatic good receiver big money, and then Tyreek threatened to sit out if they didn't renegotiate his contract and make him the highest paid receiver. The Dolphins caved and did just that, giving him a new contract at the start of the offseason, or the end of the offseason, making it near impossible now to release or trade him. I'm sure that won't come back.
That's not going to be a problem at all.
Yeah. So during the season, it came out that Hill has fathered 10 children with several different women and is being sued by 3 of them for not failing to pay a child support. This season, Hill didn't miss a beat. It was also pulled over during a game or before a game after driving erratically to the stadium. And finally, as the Dolphins season mercifully came to an end last weekend, as we discussed earlier, Hill threw a temper tantrum in the locker room after the game and demanded to be let go, trashing the Dolphins on the way out. So this offseason will undoubtedly be full of speculation of which NFL team is desperate enough to overlook Hill's horrendous behavior and take a chance on a soon-to-be 32-year-old diva for some cheap wins. So, yeah, he's going to be a Cleveland Brown very shortly.
No, move over, Jerry.
There you go.
There's a new man in town. Why, that would be great if the Browns just tripled down on, let's just get all the shitty guys in the one team. Who else has committed a crime? We're going to sign him.
Hey, what's Ray Wright's up to?
Okay. No dip of the week this week.
Jerry earned his spot.
Jerry earned his spot on the good side. Sad Boy Boat. I don't know. We kind of covered some of this. Giants fans. The guy who flies the plane over the Giants stadium.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because he ain't getting paid anymore.
No.
John Mara. I don't know. Who else is a sad boy? Kyler Murray.
Perpetually.
Yeah.
Jared Mayo.
Jared Mayo.
Yeah, Jared Mayo.
You're fired.
Mike McCarthy? I just want to get a new job. You can't.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Game balls. You got a game ball for us, Drew?
Game ball to, because I haven't had the opportunity to do this yet, game ball to LeBron James, who is the 32nd player in NBA history to play after age 40. He is the first to have also played as a teenager.
Ah,
That's
wow.
crazy. Mr. Mike.
This might be the only time I've ever done this, but I'm giving a game ball to Colin Cowherd for apparently being the only person who's not a colossal shitbag.
That
on
was
Fox
so
Sports.
funny. The Fox Sports alleged documents
Of
or whatever.
all people,
I know.
Cowherd ends up being the good one.
Cowherd is a good guy. That's pretty funny.
Good for him.
All right, good job. All right, Mark, game ball.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Caleb Williams for finally having his dad talk to him again after this week. So good for him.
Billy Williams be damned.
No, he doesn't care about Billy anymore.
It's
Back
a Christmas
Caleb.
miracle.
Yeah.
Game ball to Bryce Young. 5 touchdowns.
right, yeah.
Turning the season around. We're doing good. We're good now.
He found the stool that lets him get the cookie jar.
Mm-hmm.
He's reached the top.
He's learned everything there is to know about this marriage.
Just want to plug this book real quick. If you didn't, can you go pick this up?
Todd Downing has thoughts on it.
Todd Downing. He's in there like 10 times. A forward by Tony Dungy. I'm not going to lie. That made me spit my coffee out when I re-listened to that. When you said, what's the question? Butt stuff is the answer. A forward by Tony Dungy. Butt stuff. A forward by Tony Dungy. Oh my God.
This Terminator staring into the camera talking about butt stuff.
Oh, that made me laugh a lot. When I listen back, that's one of the top jokes of the week. Okay, it's time for plugs. Bloody good music. Chris gave some plugs on Twitter. But Mike is very red. Butt stuff, afforded by Tony Dungy. Get it now. Plug. Bloody good music.
Actually, it's still the quiet part of the year. Music
All right.
industry hasn't really started up since the new year, so here we are.
Yeah. All right. Chris gave some. He answered. There's some good stuff on there, so check that out. TGIF Christmas is still cooking. We're gonna start working on TGIF coaching.
Yeah, coaching. Yeah. Right.
It's gonna be the next. A lot of people who like this show probably would like that show.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna talk about some stuff.
You
No
can
student
find
of the
it
week.
all on the Ryan Podcast Network.
That's right.
Find it all on the right, which is about to grow. DeGrod Pod. Any
DeGrod
updates on DeGrod?
Pod.
Oh, it's
Any
coming
updates
along.
on DeGrod Pod?
It's coming along. I'm structuring the show, so
He's working on it.
Yeah.
Mark's working on it. Drew is sweating right now. He's got a flop sweat going. I said I would do 50 podcasts with Mark.
That's true. You did say that.
I'd quit my job and just do a million podcasts with Mark if I could. All right, we're done. We're out of here. We'll see what these picks end up because we're doing playoffs next week.
What?
And we'll have
that's-
some more Stripe Spiral stuff to talk about next week.
We
So
will have a lot of Stripe Spiral
national
next week.
championship game.
We will know who the 2 teams for the championship are.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. We'll actually get some good games maybe here. Maybe. Okay. All right. We're done. Peace out. We'll see you next week for the playoff recap and Stripe Spiral recap. Peace out. What is that?
It's a back scratcher.
Okay. It's like a tiny hand.
Oh, I'm aroused.
Oh, God.